The Texas Parks and Wildlife television series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sportfish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $40 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. And by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, helping to keep Texas wild with the support of proud members across the state. Find out more at tpwf.org. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram. Coming up on Texas Parks and Wildlife.
It's a reward to have the people say, boy, that's a great trail. Of course, that trail sucks. That's not too good.
All three ranches, we're proud to say, are all watered in every direction, 1.5 miles, north to south, east to west.
And my favorite story is a story called Rescuing History. It's about the capture and relocation of the last of the Southern Plains bison herd.
Texas Parks and Wildlife, taking Texans outside for 30 years.
This is a challenge up here.
Robert Newman looks after the Franklin Mountains like no other. His passion for this place is cultivated high up in the hills. A tool in hand,
I just take it day by day, one rock at a time.
and a plan in his head. He is the Trailblazer.
Yeah, it's looking all right.
Robert's about to turn 79. A cup of Joe and the El Paso Times are his way to kickstart the morning.
But I do have a 3-star day. The maximum is 5 stars, so I have a 3-star day today. And I don't go out every day. I'm too old to go out and do this every day.
You can sense a bit of morning aches and pains for Robert, but the trail calls.
I don't mind being out there by myself. I just love sitting there and looking at the scenery out there. Well, this is going to be a pretty rough ride. I'm going to go very slow. Today we are at the Tom Mays unit of the Franklin Mountain State Park. We're going up to where I'm working on a new trail. There's existing trails, well, actually old bulldozed roads, but whoops, that are really tough. So I'm trying to put in one that's going to be more user-friendly.
From 4-wheel to feet. Robert has another half-mile walk up through the rugged terrain to get to his work site.
Keep them on the upside. So this I'm going to leave because I don't want to push them away from the downside. But this I want to take out because I want them to get closer to the upside.
Robert's a retired math teacher.
You know, they used to do all this by hand. They didn't have mechanized stuff.
He's been building trails up here all by himself for 15 years.
I'll rest a bit. Oh, I hadn't gotten very far today. Like I say, I'm in no more hurry, or it'll be here tomorrow, too. When I'm out here working on trail, I have basically 3 settings. The first setting is very slow. but it's digging out nicely. The second setting is even slower. And the third setting is stopped. And stopped eats up more time than the other two put together. Peanut butter and jelly. And a Coke. When I'm out here working, most of the time I'm sitting. I just sit down and look in awe at what's out here. I've never built a trail across anything like that before.
Robert's big worry on this trail, a rock slide's dead ahead.
This will be a brand new experience. When they start moving, the whole thing starts moving. It scares the heck out of me. We'll see how it goes, and I won't know until I get into it. That's something new for me. All right, now this is about where we are right now. We're nearing this first rock slide, right in here.
To calm his nerves, Robert goes over the plan with Park Superintendent Cesar Mendez.
The idea is to get rid of this section over here because it's too steep. I don't think I have ever met somebody that is so unselfish, so generous. He's willing to spend hours and hours of his life, I mean days, months of his life, devoted to doing something right for the mountains and for the people to enjoy. His mathematician mind helps him to have this greater comprehension that sometimes the average person doesn't have. He understands slopes very well. He understands drainage.
This is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I can see a line through here now. I think it'll be all right. I have to come through here several more times. When I'm at home and I can't get out here, I'm frustrated. I need to get out here. I want to get out here. I don't know, I just love being out here.
Over the years, Robert's built more than 12 miles of trail, all by these hands.
Building these trails, like I say, it's a challenge to see if I can put in a trail that's going to be hikeable and bikeable and sustainable. One that's going to last more than 4, 5, 6 years. You don't know what's here until you get out of your car and get up in the mountain. Just driving by on the freeway over and looking at these, you don't realize how much depth there is, how much variation there is here. And you can get back in some of these canyons and feel like you're in a complete other world.
It took a good year for Robert to finish the Agave Loop Trail, and it's now open.
They're still on the ridge going up. So I guess they're going to do the whole thing.
His reward is seeing people that are using the trails, and that's all.
Can I hug you?
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love your trail. Out of 7 days, maybe we come 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, well, great. That's fantastic. It does help relieve stresses.
Yes.
When you're out here, you're not thinking about anything else except you better concentrate on the trails. Yeah. Oh, there they are. They're coming back. Oh, that's great. Way to go! Good job. Fantastic, fantastic. My pleasure, my pleasure. Thanks for coming out and riding it. That's what makes it all worthwhile, to see y'all come out and ride it.
The next morning, there's that familiar sound up on the mountain. And it doesn't look like Robert's coming down anytime soon.
Right now, I still feel good. As long as I'm able, I'm going to be out here doing this.
it's a full-time job, but it's enjoyable. It's what my family, oh, look at the rattlesnake. You want to get a picture of him. We don't kill rattlesnakes in the pasture. Anyway, that's a big snake.
Take a ride around the Punta del Monte Ranch in way South Texas with Danny Butler, and you start to get an idea of his appreciation for all things wild.
We have a lot of whitetail, a lot of turkey, lots of quail. In my opinion, it's better habitat now than it was 150 years ago.
The habitat Danny is talking about is 23,000 brushy acres, currently owned and operated by 3 generations of his family. The Butlers and their ancestors have been at this a long time.
Going on 160 years, which is getting rarer and rarer in Texas, that lands pass through generations and stay together.
The Butlers are the owners of the H. Yturria Land and Cattle Company. Their land is part of a ranch founded by Francisco Yturria in 1860 that at one time encompassed 150,000 acres spread across 5 counties.
It seems harder to keep it than it was for the original folks to get it.
In order for the Butlers to be able to keep their land together, they've had to make some changes to the way the ranches operate. Today, they are less reliant on cattle and more focused on wildlife.
We put this water project back in the brush primarily for the benefit of the ocelot.
To make the habitat work for wildlife, the Butlers have spent a lot of time and money improving water resources on their ranches. Using a series of wind and solar-powered wells, along with a network of pipes, the Butlers have been able to spread water features across the landscape.
All 3 ranches, we're proud to say, are all watered in every direction, 1.5 miles, north to south, east to west.
What we're doing right now here is we're roller chopping this pasture here. It makes an indentation in the soil, and that helps gather our rainfall.
Roller chopping brings it back down and creates a big open savanna again, full of a number of forbs and grasses, and makes those areas all that much more productive.
One of the most successful native wildlife projects the Butlers have done is to translocate turkey from one property to another.
Turkey relocation is always a gamble. If the habitat isn't perfect for turkeys in the release site, they're liable to move, liable to take off. The fact that those turkeys stayed indicated that the habitat was in good shape and they had all the necessary requirements for turkeys in that area.
Scimitar oryx just about extinct in their native land, and Danny's got a really nice herd of them doing really well here.
While the native wildlife hunts make up the bulk of the ranch income, the Butlers have expanded into exotics. Nilgai from Asia were first brought into the area in the 1930s by the owners of the nearby King Ranch, and since that time, exotic animals have become more common across the U.S.
If you don't diversify, get other sources of income coming in from the property you've got, eventually you won't have the property. Well, Susie's certainly doing nicely.
Oh yeah, she's happy with people, you know.
It has been able to be passed down from generation to generation, and it puts a lot on my shoulders to want to do the same.
You betcha.
And that ends up being the bottom line for the owners of the H. Yturria Land and Cattle Company. They'd like to see this land flourish. They'd like to see the wildlife healthy. And in the end, they'd like for another generation to continue to keep this land together, and all in the family.
It's my hope that my sister and I have the ability to pass this land on to our children. I can only hope that they will continue to manage this land as we are today.
It was 30 years ago that the Texas Parks and Wildlife television series, originally known as Made in Texas, got its start. Karen Loke is one of more than 30 producers, photographers, writers, and editors who have contributed to the show since its first broadcast in 1985.
Hi, my name is Karen Loke, and I am a television producer for the Texas Parks and Wildlife PBS Show. I've worked here for 24 years, and my favorite story is a story called Rescuing History. It's about the capture and relocation of the last of the Southern Plains bison herd. I spent 10 days shooting the story in a remote area of the Panhandle, Not only was it about saving a species that could go extinct, it was also a moment to capture our biologists with heart. They let me capture their feelings on video, and they don't get to do that a lot in their job. Some of these buffalo didn't make it. Sometimes we don't want to put things in TV that take away from what we're doing, but I think other times it could be very powerful. I feel like we captured the heart and the sadness of the death of this one bison. It was very moving and very powerful.
Right here. I think she's within range.
Doug Humphreys is a wildlife biologist.
Here it comes. Good hit.
He's working on the most important and dangerous project of his career.
She's staggering. Sit. Sit, Mama. Sit. Good cow. Sit down. Sit down.
Doug is helping capture and relocate the last few descendants of the Southern Plains bison, a pure genetic strain of buffalo found nowhere else in the world.
But what makes this one different is another buffalo has never been brought into this herd. There's been no outside gene source introduced into this particular bison herd, so we've got a distinct genetic strain of buffalo that doesn't exist anywhere else.
At one time, over 60 million bison populated the southern plains of the American West. But by the 1870s, the era of the buffalo was over. The herds were slaughtered, and in a few short years, less than 1,000 of the animals remained. That's when a Texas rancher named Charles Goodnight came to the rescue. He and his wife, Mary, realized the bison were headed for extinction, so they captured a few of the surviving animals. The buffalo were released onto the J.A. Ranch, over 1 million acres of Texas prairie, covering an area bigger than the state of Rhode Island. For the next 100 years, this new herd would roam the plains, wild and free, hidden from the outside world.
Good shot. Just lay down. Come on. Come on, just lay down. It's okay. Go lay down with Mama then. There you go.
Yeah. The owners of the J.A. Ranch were concerned about the long-term survival of this legendary herd. What was once a population of over 250 had declined to less than 30 animals.
Easy, let me make sure her head comes over on Gregor neck or something.
So the buffalo were donated to the state of Texas.
You got him?
If you look back through the history of the state of Texas, buffalo have been tied to the Indians that existed here. They were tied to the early settlers. Buffalo up. So they're a part of our natural history, and it's something that we as a department should try to continue the existence of this herd so that this unique heritage isn't lost.
After the animals are captured, they're brought to these holding pens, custom built to withstand the power and strength of a 1,500-pound buffalo. And that's no small task for creatures who have never in their lives been penned up.
Well, hopefully it'll work. In theory, it's supposed to work.
Go on, go on, go on. There he goes. Get ready with the gate.
Hey, there she goes. Close the gate.
Sure glad he's not big and mean.
But the capturing process takes its toll on a few of the animals.
It's just a waiting game now. See how she does.
I know, sweetheart, you don't like this, but I want to see her back with her mama. She's gone through quite a bit.
The condition is called capture myopathy.
And it's just a syndrome. It's a complex syndrome of things that go wrong in a buffalo or any animal that you capture. But that risk is always there when you're using drugs on animals or anytime you handle a wild animal.
Not a hell of a lot we can do.
She's dead.
She was just too weak to survive, I guess. Not much else we could do. We tried our best, and even the best couldn't do it, so.
I guess the first time I probably seen them when my granddad worked here. I was probably 8 or 9 years old. You know, I hate to see them go. They've been here longer than any of us have. You know, and a lot of people's worked around them, and the place been here a long time with them.
There he is. Huh? There he is. He's a 10.
Yeah, I'm glad that my kids are here to get to see the buffalo go. Say goodbye to them and all.
He's a 10.
What do you think of that buffalo? Me and the kids both. Been around them all our lives anyways.
Bye-bye.
One of the last wild buffalo.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Rojo. Oh, what are they going to do to it? What are they going to do to it?
I hope they be happy where they're going.
To those of us involved in this project, it's turned into be something quite more than just a simple matter of capturing a bison herd and relocating them over here to Caprock Canyons. In essence, we're literally capturing a living piece of Texas history.
The long-term plan is to create a 100,000-acre refuge, with the offspring of this herd grazing on a huge natural prairie. The last remnant of the Southern Plains bison will get another chance to live on, thanks to a man named Charles Goodnight, who believed that these buffalo symbolized a chapter in Texas history that should never be forgotten. This series is funded in part by a grant from the Wildlife and Sport Fish Restoration Program. Through your purchases of hunting and fishing equipment and motorboat fuels, over $40 million in conservation efforts are funded in Texas each year. And by Texas Parks and Wildlife Foundation, helping to keep Texas wild with the support of proud members across the state. Find out more at tpwf.org. Additional funding provided by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.